Awesome. Thank y'all for joining us. We know it is 4 in the afternoon, so thank you for joining us. And we're going to get through this and introduce you to our folks and tell you a little bit more about the Black Parent Innovation Lab and all of the things, the application, the process, and just try to give you as much information as we can, so that so that you can feel comfortable and feel easeful about the process. And you'll hear from folks who've been in the program as well. So thank you for joining. Ready for the next slide. So I wanted to start with grounding us. We are midway through 2026. Um, can y'all believe we're like half of this year is over? It's been a wild ride. Um, our communities have been impacted in multiple ways by so many systems and so many things, from economic struggles, gas prices. We saw the price of eggs rise, the gas is high. Um, Although there's the government is cutting back resources to our community, simultaneously they're spending so much resources on wars and on law enforcement and policing and control. And so there's a lot of economic stress that's happening in our communities, and our communities being impacted by the different government cuts and shutdowns and defunding services that we know that are necessary for our survival. There are environmental things happening literally right now. One of our participants is telling us that there is a fire happening right now in Santa Clarita where they're based and their home is. So we know that because the government is not acknowledging, you know, the climate changes and the impact on our environment, and also the impact of things like AI on our environment, right? That those things are having an impact on our community. Um, we had an El Nino summer due to the wave patterns. There's been a heat wave that we're currently in. And like we said, there are wildfires happening in our communities. And our people are being impacted at higher rates. And simultaneously, while those things are happening, we know that in our community, even when there are things happening that cause harm and stress and trauma, that our communities are very resilient, and we're finding ways to come together, build mutual aid, lean on each other, support one another, and also celebrate Black joy as a form of resistance. And so throughout this year and this summer that we just described, all these things happened this summer. We've also done things like celebrating Black mamas with Black Home Magic, with our past innovation alum, who currently is a P4L team member, Ivory Chambeshi. And then we also celebrated Black Daddy's Day this summer. And shout out to Danny Crumble, who's on the call, who is applying this year, to the Innovation Lab, who helped us celebrate Black dads and bringing Black dads together to be in community, because we know that that's what we need. When things are hard, we turn to community, we show up for each other. And also this year, though it's tumultuous, is also Parenting for Liberation's 10-year anniversary. We started in 2016. We started at a time when this same type of crisis was happening, when we had this new man in office that is returning back. We were doing this when we started Parenting for Liberation. We were dealing with this. So we know that we have been through this and we can get through this, and we know that community is going to be the pathway forward. And so as that's the summer that we're in, I want us to think about all those things. And the quote that's on the screen is the quote that we're going to ground on together. And I want to take a beat naming all of those things while almost also holding our capacity for Black joy, Black love as forms of resistance. I wanted to bring in this incredible Black writer, queer Black writer, author, revolutionary, James Baldwin. And shout out to his mama as well, because there's a book about just how influential she was on his life, because Black parents matter. Hello. But he has a quote that is on the screen. Thanks to Paradise for pulling this up for us. And it says, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." And I want us to take a beat, as a collective, and think about all the things that we are seeing, all the things that we are witnessing. And heavy is the load of all the things we are witnessing and seeing. And we can't change it all, but we all have the capacity, to face some things and to create effort and energy towards changing it. And I think that is why it's so beautiful that you're on this call, because you all are coming here to be like, there's something that I can do. there's an idea that I have about how I can solve a challenge in our communities. So I want to take a moment and just invite everybody to take 3 deep breaths together, so that we can, one, face the things, and then exhale because we know we can't change them all, but knowing that we do have the power to change something. Yeah. So inviting folks to ground wherever you are, if it's safe. If you feel safe, I invite you to close your eyes and place one hand on your heart and one hand on your core, your stomach. That's like around your belly. And I invite you to take a deep inhale, hold it, and exhale. And I'm going to say the quote in between each inhale and exhale, but you can continue breathing at your own pace. So inhale, not everything that is faced can be changed. Exhale, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. One more time, let's take an inhale. Not everything that is faced can be changed. Exhale, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And then I'm going to just invite you to inhale and exhale at your own pace in silence for a little bit, just so that you can ground yourself. And as you're doing that, I want you to think about, what do you have capacity to change? Thank you. Thank you for breathing with me. Thank you for reflecting on and meditating on, what do you have capacity to change? And I hope that that thing that you're thinking about will be what inspires you to apply when we finish this call for an innovation lab. All right. Thank you, Paradise. Next slide. I'll pass it back to you. Me? Okay. Okay, so on our call today, we have a whole crew here because we believe in community, and we believe that instead of us telling you how great the program is and it's so wonderful and great, that you should just hear from the mouth of the people who participated. So on our call today, it's me. I'm Trina Green. I realize that I introduced myself. I'm Trina Green. I'm the founder and executive director of Parenting for Liberation. And also on the call is Paradise Oakley. She's the Innovation Lab Program Director. We also have Everett. Wave your hand when I say your name. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everett is a 2025 Innovation alum. So he went through the program with his partner, Wumi. They were a couple who came together and submitted an idea, and they'll talk more about their projects later. But if that is, like, maybe you got a partner, maybe you're like, oh, I got a co-conspirator that I want to apply with, like, that is welcome. You don't have to do this alone. Again, community. Also on our call is Bonisi Lay. Give it up, wave it there. There you go. She is a 2026 alumni. So just earlier this year, she was completing the program and finishing up her project, and sharing her project with the world. So we also have Sophina. Sophina, where you at? Okay, I see you. Sylvina is a 2026 fellow as well. And last but not least, we have Zakia on the call. And she is a 2026 fellow. So they will be telling you later about their programs. Was I supposed to tell people their bios? Okay. All right. And here is our agenda for today. So welcome. I hope you feel welcomed. I'm going to spend a little bit of time telling you about, like, what is Innovation Lab and its impetus and why we started it and what our hopes are for the Innovation Lab. And then you'll hear from the fellows directly about just their experience in the program. It'll be a Q&A facilitated by Paradise. And then after that, Paradise will spend time going over the application. Like, what are the questions? What kind of answers? Maybe you have questions about, like, what should you say and what should you write and what can you expect? And so we'll definitely have time for you to ask questions, and then we'll close. We're hoping we'll be done in about an hour. I mean, unless y'all got a heck of questions, then we'll take our time. But yeah, that's what we're up to. That's what y'all signed up for. And I'm going to just spend a little bit of time talking about the Innovation Lab. So I'll tell you a little bit of the backstory about like even how we created the program. So in 2016 or 2015, I was working at other nonprofits. I've been working in the nonprofit sector my whole life, always doing work around young people and youth advocacy. And then I became a parent. And as I was parenting, I realized that I was parenting from fear. I realized that the conditions that we were living in at that time, right? Again, 10 years ago, the man that's in office came into office and was crazy, and calling all kind of, you know, and I realized that that caused a lot of anxiety and fear in me as a parent, as a Black parent raising a Black boy. And we had moved into a predominantly white neighborhood of Orange County. Coming from like Inglewood, that's where we ended up. And so that was just like a very stark differential. And I knew I wanted to cultivate in him pride as a form of resistance. I wanted to be able to keep him safe in public spaces. And so I knew that I couldn't just be so afraid for him that I was going to limit his ability. And so someone asked me, well, what would I do differently? And I told them that I would put liberation at the center of my parenting and not fear. And so I began this organization actually by just talking to other Black parents doing a podcast, and interviewing Black parents, asking them hella questions. And someone was willing to give me $5,000 to invest in that idea. A small nonprofit was doing something similar. They didn't have a lab, they just had like an innovation fund. And I applied, and that was the first time I brought Black parents together in circle. And we talked about these conversations. And I asked Black parents in the circle, well, what would they like to see to continue to grow this work? And then here we are 10 years later, it's a whole nonprofit organization. That wasn't the plan. It was just what was being asked for in that moment. And we came up with these different pillars and approaches around healing and unlearning, unlearning like toxic parenting practices, healing our own trauma as parents from our own childhood, and then also what could we do to build the power of us as a collective of Black parents to do this change in our communities. And so after 5 years of running the organization, I made a commitment to say, I had this idea about what Black parents could do. And I know Black parents are so resourceful and they have ideas and creativity. So I wanted to pay it forward to invite other Black parents to then say, well, what do you think in your community you need to solve a problem in your community? And so that is how the Innovation Lab started 5 years ago. And the purpose of the Innovation Lab is to create an opportunity for Black parents and caregivers to experiment, to iterate, to design strategies and solutions for the problems that we have in our communities. Too often, the problems in our communities are blamed on us, especially if you're a single Black mother, they would blame everything on us as parents. Well, this is the reason why our children aren't thriving, and these are the reasons why our children are struggling. And in reality, we're not the problem, we are the solution, and the solution lives within us. And so Parenting for Liberation believes in Black parents as change agents for not just their own children, but for all children in their communities. And so the Black Parent Innovation Lab provides funding and wraparound support, and resources to Black parents who are intentionally trying to drive solutions for change for their families, but also families in their communities. And we could talk a little bit about what some of those resources are next. And so just to give you a little bit more like information about the program, and all of this is available on the website and in the application. But generally when we say like it's a robust program, like this is an intensive program. I know the people who've been in the program were like, yeah, I don't know if y'all knew what y'all signed up for, but it's an intensive, because our intentions are to go deep. We didn't just want to like, here's the money, figure it out. It's like, no, we're going to say, here's the money, let's figure it out. Let's hold your hand, let's move through it. Let's push you a little bit. We like that. Can you go a little bit further, go a little deeper? And so in doing that, we bring families, we bring the parent leaders who are invited together for a week in person overnight design lab where you come together, you bring your idea, you test it out. We go through different exercises, workshops, and they could tell you more about their experience. And we also have Joy, of course, but it's an intensive with training and workshops and things of that nature. During that, we provide childcare because that's one of our commitments is to make it accessible to parents. And then in between that in-person in the beginning, right at the beginning of the program, there will be monthly virtual sessions. There's about one every other week or like two or so every month. And so there should be a total of 12 sessions. And those are group. Everybody comes together, all the fellows, they talk about what they're learning. And then we also provide new trainings, like how to take your project to the next step. What's the next step? What's the next step? So we're moving you through a curriculum. And then at the end of the program, we bring everyone back together to be like, what did you do? Share it with the world. We invite our community members. You invite your community members. Um, and we also invite funders to really think about how can the work that you start in this program continually to be invested in? How do you make it sustainable? And so that is like the full program. The dates and everything specifically are on this calendar. I'm not going to go through the dates specifically, but you'll see that we have all the dates set up. And when you apply, it asks you, did you look at your calendar? Did you hold these dates? um, because it is an important thing. In order to do the program, I really want you to be in it the full time. And it's not just because we want you to be in it for you, but it's also we're building a cohort community. And so, you know, we needed Sofina to show up because Bonisile needed somebody to give her feedback on her project, for example. Like you all in the cohort become a cohort of team. And in addition to that, there are other resources that come with the program. Want to do the next slide? So in addition to that, it's not like we're just asking you to do all these things without giving you support, right? So you also have one-on-one coaching with our facilitators. You are in community, so you can rely on each other. Teamwork makes the dream work. And then you join an alumni network. So we try to bring in and connect. Like if your project or your idea is related to something that someone in the previous cohort did, we try to bring them in to support or to make those connections because we know that collaboration makes our impact even greater. We offer support with childcare, whether that's childcare on site, and we also support with childcare if you need to like leave your children with a caregiver. And then it comes with up to $5,000 of project resources. So when we talk about there's $5,000, it's really in service of you bringing your idea to fruition. So yeah, so that is the program. It's robust, but it is. I think it brings me as a facilitator and a person who has been a part of the journey. It brings me so much joy to see Black parents in their like creative bag, like innovating, coming up with new ideas and supporting each other and ashaying and amen and affirming each other. Because I think that is what gets us to liberation, really. We could be fighting to dismantle everything that exists already, or we could be working to build the things that we want instead. And that's how we invest our resources. And so we really believe this is the way that we will get to Black liberation if we could support and resource Black parents and families to come up with those solutions together in community in service of our collective liberation. So that is what we're up to. I'm going to pivot and pass to Paradise to introduce you to our fellows.
Thank you. Yes, I'm in SoCal, but I'm gonna take us to NorCal really quick, to welcome in some of our alumni.
Greetings,
First,
friends,
wanted
family,
to
and community.
welcome in Bonalisiwe, from We and We Remember. Bonalisiwe is an educator, a cultural practitioner, cultivating spaces where African diaspora, identity, spirituality, and education can meet. And so this is like a little bit of her presentation that she was able to design in the lab, thinking about how we can honor intergenerational wisdom from our ancestors through ancestor and lineage exploration, as well as doing some character and values groundiness with the youth and their parents. And thinking about that. So thank you so much for being here, Panalisiwe. Next, I'm gonna go on down to Berkeley. We have Miss Sofina of Growing Empowered Minds in Spanish. So this is Sofina, also an educator working with the youth as a school counselor, making sure our babies are bilingual, making sure they get in the culture, make sure they get the good food, little dance lessons, and really wanting to have a space for folks to build confidence in their Spanish or just like in their language development, as well as making sure their parents feel comfortable in asking for support and researching them to also learn this language at home. And so working to develop culturally relevant and responsive curriculum out of Berkeley, and making sure the kids feel good. So thank you so much for being here. And then I'm gonna go on down to LA. Oh, this is, yeah, some of the things that we do. What if our Black children could feel like Spanish language belonged to them because they saw culture in it? And so that's what Sophina was able to do during her time. So we're grateful for her and her idea. And now we're going down to Long Beach. Welcome, Ms. Akia, of Black Family Joy, also an educator and a community weaver working with a lot of Black orgs in LA. Girl Trek, our fitness and making sure our heart health is good. Also working in the policy realm, a recent alumni of Los Angeles African American Public Policy Institute, I believe, a couple months ago, and also working with other spaces like California Black Women's Health Project, and really wanted to create Black Family Joy as a way for community-centered events and programming and making it free. We know LA is expensive. How can we co-work together? How can we have planned play dates and really just have fun with the kiddos in LA County? So thank you so much for being here with us. Now I'm gonna go up a little north to introduce the duo, my fave. Oh yeah, my fave. But Everett and Wumi. This morning I had the privilege of sitting in and listening to Wumi's dissertation, and she defended it so fiercely. And so Wumi is one half of Everett. We are distant relatives, so sorry. So these are some of the things that we're doing Black Joy Exchange. Um, and really thinking about how can we build Black interracial solidarity. And they are, Umi is Yoruba and Baji, and Everett is African American, and really thinking about how can we coexist and kind of beat like the stereotypes, the norms through community connection, art and movement. And also, we know we love food. We make some good food. How can we spark a conversation and engage that way? And thinking about how we can do world building, learning, and healing. And so I think I have a picture of that. And so one of their quotes is, without community, there is no liberation. And so we're so grateful to have y'all into the space this afternoon. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing screen for a little bit and we are going to chat. Let's see. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna spotlight us all. Hey, hello. How are y'all doing? Oh, I'm talking to alumni. How y'all doing?
We're doing
Doing
fine.
great.
Doing good.
Doing well.
Okay, so we're gonna just do a little Q&A with Paradise. Okay, everyone's co-hosts. And so like kind of Trina was talking about, when y'all applied, it was things going on in the world. And so really wanting to see what was going on in your life or your work when you decided to um take a leap of faith and apply to the Black Parent Innovation Lab. And then yeah, if y'all want to just like share anything about like kind of what sparked your interest. I know some of y'all applied with a place in mind that was specific, or applied with kind of an idea that you were kind of like three ideas that you were kind of working to kind of solve like a problem in your community. So just wanted to give y'all a little space to talk about like the time that y'all are in, 2024, 2025, what was going on. And so I'll pass it over to Zakia first and then
Perfect.
just do it that
Hello,
way.
everyone. Again, my name is Zakia, and I was just in my early postpartum. So, participating in the lab was like my first leap of independence and doing something while being a mom. And it was really great to know that there was an organization that would support parents and still allow them to like grow and get the things that they need. I had an idea of creating a resource that would help parents with funds. But through participating in the Innovation Lab, it changed so many times. And in the end, like I still met that goal, but the way it looked just continued to evolve and evolve. And I'm really grateful for that experience to both step into being an independent person again while being a parent and to be able to jump back into being a community because that was what had always grounded me and becoming a parent kind of had like isolated me.
We break in isolation. We're so grateful to have you in space. We know that, you got multi hyphenate multiple things we got going on, and always coming back to being a Black parent or caregiver. So thank you so much for allowing us to support you on this journey. Let's see. Uh, yeah. I'm gonna pass it over to Sophina.
Hello, past prospectable fellows. My name is Sophina, and I hail from the town in Berkeley. And during that time of applying to the program, I'm a mom of three, and kind of seeing it, scrolling because I followed P4L, but I didn't really like get into what was going on because it's not close to where I am. And so just scrolling and seeing it pop up in Discovery, like, oh, this is an opportunity. And in my mind, trying to talk myself out of it, but then saying, like, what the heck, I might as well go ahead and apply. And it's been the most amazing experience of my adult life.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on down to SoCal with us and sharing your wisdom. I'm gonna pass it down to Everett if you want to chat with us.
Oh yes, hello everyone. Just like Paradise said, my other half, she's in Boston. She'll be back here soon. And we, at the time when we applied to the program, we just had our twins. So we do have a pretty big family, a blended family. And my wife and I, we were talking about how when we were growing up, our relationship with people of other Black people within other ethnic groups, Africa, mainly Africa and the islands and things like that. So when we learned about P4L, one program that we did before that was the South, which is Strong African American Families, and that was an eye opener of how we could get involved more in the community, and that started to help spark those ideas. And when the opportunity came for us to apply to the program, we we was excited, of course, a little bit nervous, and as a man in this space, right? Because there's a lot of females in this space as well too. But that's something that you shouldn't get intimidated by because I always felt safe. I felt heard, and there was no judgment in how we um, articulate our ideas and things like that. And I think it's just several key takeaways because of the challenges that the program did help us to get better with our ideas and things like that. And one thing I do want to say is when when we were at these meetings and at the different conferences, we we enjoyed it. We was able to dial in. We had the support from everyone. It was a community. Everybody was building up on each other, and it was just a really good experience. And I think you all will be, uh, you be in good hands when you want to get your ideas out and things like that.
Mm,
Thank you.
thank you. Definitely gonna get through your design cycle. I'm gonna pass it over to Winalisi.
Thank you, Paradise. This is so interesting, but I think I heard about the Parent Innovation Lab from your other half, Everett. So I've never met her, but I was in a parent WhatsApp group. And I think, and I'm saying this because we never exchanged names. I'm looking at our chat right now, and when you said you had twins, she had shared with me that she had twin toddlers, a 5-year-old and a 13-year-old at the time. Wow. Okay. So yes, I learned about this from his other half in a parenting WhatsApp group, and she has sent the link out, and I had already been ruminating and cooking up an idea, and I had wrote a proposal and really started like asking mentors what they thought about it, like it was something I was already ruminating on. And then she sent this in the chat, and I was like, okay, let me see what this is. and I ended up sending her a separate message. And she told me she was in LA, or parentheses Valley. And so, and I saw that her name is at Omo Oya. And so I practiced like a Yoruba spiritual tradition. So we started talking about that. And I told her I was learning Yoruba. So it was just a really cool like exchange. And she was like, I really encourage you to apply. And so I applied. And when I ended up doing like the interview process, the intentionality of this organization and the beautiful Black women who facilitate this program. I mean, I was just like floored. I was just floored, even in the interview process. And so for me, at the time, I was an administrator. I'm the associate director of an independent Black school out here. And my whole career and, really just paradigm is centered around Black liberation. And so, but the way that this process, just unveiled itself, it is also much different, right? Like the level of intentionality, the level of unlearning, the work, the research, the things that were done. You don't always see that when you're working with Black organizations and spaces. And so once I went through the interview, I was like, oh, I pray that I can be a part of this, because there's something I can learn from this. But I felt so safe and so comforted, and felt like it was a sign, honestly, from the ancestors that I can pivot. There are Black folks who want to invest in evolving, right, the culture and evolving the ways in which we've done things in the past, while also still remembering the essence and the best of who we are, as Black folks. And so it was just really beautiful and really timely, for what was going on in life at the time.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And oh my gosh, I love that. I have to tell me. Love this connection. We have some wonderful alumni, I think over 35 of them. So happy to have y'all be a part of them. And yes, we do definitely take everything and to heart, and want y'all to feel resourced and supported, because we know parenting, it's a lifelong journey, and we a village, so we got y'all back. And so I'm gonna pass it over to Everett and Zakia, and we just wanted to like share like what did the fellowship give to you that you didn't expect, whether that's like community, whether that's resources. We know we support y'all with a lot of resources, language. We know we talk a lot about like the design cycle and all these kind of different things. Or like something else that I did not name. What was, if y'all want to share
Yeah, I can
anything?
go first. It definitely gave me community as well as like the fuel and the push to keep going. Like before I even had completed the Innovation Lab, I was already applying to the Los Angeles African American Women's Public Policy Institute. Like, okay, I'm back in community. There is a need here. There are people who are supporting you, just keep going. Like, don't look back. Don't worry about how you're gonna do it with the babies and things like that. Like, just keep going, and things will be able to be made to happen. Like how Bonista described, like the intentionality, the community, and all that kind of stuff. It will just propel you in all the different areas of your life. So I didn't expect it to like ripple out so much.
Yeah, and I'll definitely piggyback on what Zakiya said as well, because community and um, feeling having a sense of purpose for sure. And another thing that really helped out is how we were challenged to dig deeper. We had ideas, it sounded good to us, it looked good to us, but once we started to break it down, we really broke it down, and we had to put this thing together piece by piece. And we're still developing on it, but but the idea has became so much better than what it was when we started.
Yes, thank you for sharing. You will definitely go through the 6-month design cycle, different iterations. We'll pivot each time, each time. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm gonna pass it over to our Bay Area folks, Safina and Bonalisiwe. Was there a moment during your cohort where something shifted for you personally or in your project, that you would like to share with folks?
I think for me, the shift definitely, I felt like the whole time I felt kind of like unsure. Not the whole time, but like before the shift, I felt kind of like unsure. I felt like, is this really something that I could bring to the community? And crazy me, it was already things that I were doing in the community. My community is built around my children's school, so there was already things that I was doing in the community, bringing families together, having family dinners and everything like that. But to have it be specified towards learning and engagement with language was kind of the new project. And while being in the lab and creating with our mentors, the shift came where they talked about what if. Like, what if you've never done it? What will that be? What if you did do it? What would that be? And as simple as it sounded, it cleared kind of like a pathway that was just a repetitive thought in words that I spoke out loud, for the remainder of the time we were there in our first build out. Like, if I don't do it, what if? If I do it, what if? It's not going to hurt anyone. It was only going to be able to build and gain more um, community, more activation in the projects that I was already implementing in our school site. So that cleared the path for me, and I was able to kind of like breathe and think, okay, if I can take away this big thought process, because in my head I was like, this has to be the big business. I had to bring it on down, make it smaller, and break away from what I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be like this at the end of this fellowship, and just say, we can break it down in parts. And that's what I really loved about being able to break it into parts. And that propelled me into the next part of our lab when we were fellowshipping together.
Um, so for me, there were several like mental shifts like during the process, very similar to Sophina, just in terms of the confidence to be able to go through with the idea that seems so lofty at the beginning, but you're challenged to really face it. And I remember one of the facilitators saying, like, you're the only one who knows that. And you got to remember, like, whatever, whatever's going on, you could have these insecurities, but just know, like, no one else can see that. And so that was definitely a pivotal shift. But personally, and see, I was trying to talk to myself up to not get emotional about it, but I went through the process. And at the end, but right before the celebration, I couldn't go in person because my daughter, she had a health challenge. I'll just say that. Just had a health challenge, and I was really excited to like be able to like be in community and like present in person. Um, And I'll just say that the cohort, the leadership, the facilitators, like they just were like, it's good. Like we're just gonna help you. We're gonna shift, you know? And I give thanks for like COVID because I mean, not really, but I give thanks for the technology that emerged during that time because I was able to like pre-record my presentation and they were able to play it. So it was still the idea was still able to be shared, my mission and my idea was still able to reach right folks, and I just felt so thankful that it was something that was out of my control, and it was just a life lesson because we don't know what's going to come up, we don't know what's going to happen, we don't know what's going to happen in the next hour, but to know that because of just the intentionality and community that they cultivate, that it was going to be okay. And so although I still grieve not being able to be there in person with my girls because we had a good time in the first in-person retreat um during the time where we really had the intensive, but I had to do what I had to do as a mother. And I just think it just speaks to the mission around them supporting Black parents because as we're creating, as we're bringing ideas into fruition, as we're, exercising our genius as Black parents, there are other things that are going on. And so any program that's designed for Black parents, it should take that into account, right? That we're parents, right, here for our children. We're partners, we're whatever we identify as, whatever our family circumstance, and that they're able to still carry and hold space for those things that happened. And so I'm just so grateful and really thank you to Paradise and Trina and I won't name the facilitators, but Lorena and Brittany. Uh, um, who really supported me. So, yeah, that was the shift.
Thank you for sharing. You was our opener. You set the stage. They was like, hold on. She ain't in the room. But you was in the room with us. You was in the room with us. You're in the room with us right now. So don't worry. There's more to come. More to come. More to come. So thankful for you being here. Ooh. Let's see. 1 second. Okay. I had another question. If y'all wanted to share, sometimes we have this idea, but we're like, no, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And yeah, we Brittany says we love you in your first draft. So what would you say to a Black parent who's like sitting on the idea, but they're not ready, or they're like feeling like they're not qualified to apply to the innovation lab? And I know that some of the folks on the call were like kind of, submitting the application the day of. It's here with us. Made it to the finish line. Folks were having, like a little doubt. That's honest. It's hard applying to different things. But yeah, if y'all can like say like any affirmations or like words of encouragement to like anyone who's thinking about applying but not sure, they got 5 more days, four more days to apply. What would you say to them? It would
I
be a
would say
question.
go for it. Don't cancel yourself out. Like, allow all of that great energy you have to just flow. Give it what you got right now. Like we said, it'll be 6 months for you to continue to improve it. Um, so just go with your heart. At first, me and my partner were gonna apply together, and then we didn't really follow up with each other. So at the last minute, I had a thought, wrote it all down, submitted it, and just went with it. So just don't overthink it. Give what you got. You have enough. You are enough.
Yep, I second that. Do it. One thing I definitely learned from the program is, doing things even if you're scared, right? Because that imposter syndrome, that little voice in your head is going to be there and it's not going to go away. And so we have to like push past it to know that we've been given the gifts that, the creator gave us and that the idea didn't come out of nowhere. And so to feel so blessed that there's a space where you can get not only just resource but the training and the guidance to bring it into fruition is just it's kind of like a why wouldn't you. And so I would just say it is definitely worth silencing that voice, pushing forward ahead, and you will be so happy that you did it.
I'll tell you this right now. If I didn't apply and I didn't get in, I would have been mad to know. I know someone else who got into the program and absolutely had no idea until they saw how P4L represented us during the ceremonies. And it's especially in our area, in the Bay Area, I don't think a lot of people are really saying anything about it. So to know that somebody else that I know participated in it and wasn't like, oh, that's something that, I did or something like that. I know like 2 people who did it. And I would have been mad. I would have been mad. I would have been mad. I would have been like, what? I just missed out on this amazing experience. Like, when I tell you they get down to like your emotional music, out of nowhere. You like, I was feeling this in my head, and now y'all just played it out loud. I don't know what kind of intuitive, futuristic thought process the team has, but like it was an amazing experience. Nothing that I've ever felt working in my career, working in previous careers, working in collaboration with people. I've never felt anything like that before. Just sitting there and being present with other like-minded individuals was just amazing. Just amazing. Because oftentimes I feel like I'm around people who like-minded, but action isn't made. So people who are action and were active, I was like, oh my God, what? What? Yeah.
Go ahead, action-oriented mindset. Go ahead, bring that abundance. Oh, Danny, you had a question.
Sorry, I was trying to clap.
Oh, clap. Yes. Give a clap. Round of applause.
Wait,
Yes. Oh,
shout out. I just want to shout out. Oh, who did that magical clap? I just want to shout out the team because as y'all describe your experience, I think Bonicio said their names in silence, but I want to say their names out loud.
Thank
Um,
you. Yes. I didn't know if that was like you
oh,
introduced them later for a thing, but I was about to just say like Brittany and Lorena.
say
Uh,
their names. Say their names. So yeah,
Ashe. Okay, cool. Yes.
to the team, and also thank you to Paradise. Right, Paradise holds it down and makes this possible. Shout out to the team that blood, sweat, and tears. They on the East Coast, baby. They be in the middle of the night talking to people like they're like it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, and we trying to get y'all through the finish line. So there is a team of people who will lovingly encourage and push you. They are innovators themselves. They have started their own businesses, multiple practices. They are innovative in and of themselves. They practice what they preach, and so they know how to bring things from an idea to execution. And so they will move you through that process with gentle, loving, and sometimes not as gentle because sometimes you just like we got to do it. So I just wanted to say their names and shout them out, and also want to shout out our innovation alumni Ashley Carell, who also takes care of the babies. So yeah, I just as you all were describing the program, I just and describing the impact of the program on your lives and how it made you feel. I just wanted to honor the people who make that possible. Yeah,
yeah.
the same team. So you guys will have the same dream team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I forgot Leslie Hairstone, who also does all the budget, money magic, money moves that will help you also figure out how to make the dollars make sense. So shout out to the whole team. All right, I'll pass it back to you, Paradise, because I know people got questions already. So we're ready to get there soon.
Okay, yes. Um, okay, I do see one question. Bonnie, do you want to go? I'll bring up the slides.
Yes, my question, and I apologize, I was late in case it was already addressed. Let's say I don't get in. Is there anything I can do in the meantime before it comes back around to try to apply and get back in?
Like if you don't get in this cycle, could you apply the next cycle?
No, like if I don't get into this cycle, between this cycle and the next one, is there anything that I can do in between to work with you guys so I can try to bring my idea to fruition?
Um, I will say one thing that we definitely try to do if you're not selected, for any reason, is send resources, for like people that might like be able to support you with this idea or like making it to come to fruition, or like kind of similarly aligned. And then if you're in LA, we'll be having an experience at the end of the year for some co-designing and like a practice space. So that'll be coming soon. And then you won't be able to go like through the design cycle because that kind of is like a private cohort experience. But we'll have our celebration in February where you can experience the fellows share their project and their whole design cycle, and the folks that they were able to activate and connect with. So that is the experience that folks that are not selected would be able to go through at this time. Trina, I don't know if you have anything different that you want to offer.
And
Thank you.
I would just add any of the fellows who are in the existing cohort who did get selected, if you are interested in being a part of any of their practices or their projects as they're building them out, that's also an opportunity. Um, yes, and then we have other programs that you can always come to. We have the STAFE program that I think Everett was a part of. Multiple, what we've had experience around with parent liberation is like once you're in one program, you kind of stick around and go to all the other programs too, based on your kids' ages. So you could also go to the other programs that we have as a way to kind of be a part of the parent liberation community, be on our newsletter, be on our social media to find multiple ways to plug into the organization. But we're not gonna count you out.
Yes.
We're gonna affirm that you're getting in, baby.
You don't count yourself out, because
Oh,
child.
yes. But yeah, we can spend a little time talking about the application. I just dropped it in the chat again. Just the PDF. I don't want y'all to get overwhelmed with like the different sections of the Google form. But I'll drop that in the chat at the end. And so really the application is just a gentle way to get to know you, get to know the family that you're cultivating, as well as like what's moving you in this political moment and like what's something that you're wanting to transform. Um, and so I can read the questions gently because I know we're almost at time. So one of the questions, like I said, describe yourself, your identity, your family, and your community. And also like invitation to describe a challenge Black families are facing, like I said, in this political moment, that you are interested in like thinking about right now. And how might you go about addressing the challenge described above? We really invite you to dream big. You ain't gotta, come up with the regular degular, dream big, dream big. That's all I'll say. We Afrofuturistic for a reason. And we go, yes. So that's all I'll say. And then we want to know like what you already doing. We know you already solving stuff in real time. We just, get to meet you for a little bit during this application process. What problems are you solving or that you have already solved in your life, in your community? Just really to think about your leadership and creativity that you had, and how you collaborate, because there will be a group interview, as well as inviting you to upload just a 2 to 3 minute, get on camera for us a little bit, and like share like what are your hopes for the fellowship, and then like folks share like what unlocked for them through the fellowship, like what are you hoping, what are you thinking about moving through for the 6 months, and once you in the fam, you always keep getting invited back. Um, so that is the questions that we have. So it's a little short. We're asking for 250 words. And like everyone said, like we put a lot of intention and a lot of love in the Innovation Lab into all of our programming. And so we want to hear real responses. Put AI down. Everett had to leave us because of the fires in Santa Clarita. So save the water. We in a heat wave right now in LA. Save the water for yourself. So we really want you to not use AI if you can, or just be mindful if you are going to use it, and let that not be your final draft, because we can tell when it's AI. And then, like I said, we'll be doing group interviews like the last week of July, and we'll have like a mix. We know y'all are working parents or caregivers or entrepreneurs or different things of that nature. So I'll have like some morning, some afternoon, and some evening options for y'all to select group interviews. And yeah, we just really want to see like how you work together with other folks. As well as like, yeah, like what are you like thinking about? Fun questions we asked during the interview. Um and so that is the timeline. I think we will be kind of giving the application closes this Sunday at midnight or 11:59 p.m. And we invite you to share it with other folks or apply yourself. And we'll kind of be inviting folks to the interview that week and then responding by August 17th with final decisions. And then like Trina shared in the earlier slide, we'll be kicking off the lab in early September. So I'm gonna go to the next slide really quickly. Who are we looking for? We are looking for folks, like I said, ready to make change in their community, oriented towards like a libertarian framework, thinking about disability justice, thinking about accessibility, thinking about language access, and all those different things. We know that when we think of liberation, we think of liberation for all, our trans community, just like everyone. So we want to make sure that everyone is in the future that we're dreaming of, and someone who's desired to learn. Like we said, we meet bi-weekly during the 6 months, and do go through an intensive design cycle. You can see some of our fellows presenting their ideas and moving through different things. And like folks kind of shared already, like willingness to shift. So like with an open mindset, and as well as open to feedback, because we do provide a lot of feedback and we think of feedback as a gift, and as something that we can just like kind of get closer to that liberation, and then as well as putting your ideas into practice. So like Safina mentioned, action oriented, that's one of our mindsets that we love to invite people to be in community with us with. And so yeah, I'm gonna open up to questions if y'all have any questions for us.
There's one in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Should our answers be conversational or more like a professional type of tone?
We regular people. I don't know. Trina, you I don't do mine. Conversational. Professional, that's for the 9 to 5. We got your back after the 9 to 5. I'm just playing. Yeah, I would say conversational, just we'll read them. We'll read them. Okay.
Yeah, be authentic to yourself. And I think AI is what gives you that like very, very professional, and it takes away the color, right? Like yourself. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear how you feel about the problem, how it's impacting you, and what you hope to see. So yeah, conversation.
Okay. Lorraine, how you doing, girl?
Hi, y'all. I was asking if if all the answers could be answered on a video or voice instead of written.
Yeah, I can see about setting something up for you. And then see if we can put something on the website. I don't know how soon. But yeah, I think
One way is
if you
I don't mean to make more work for you. That's not what I'm meaning to
no.
do.
no, I think
What would be an easier thing to do is if you do a video and you put it in one Google folder and just upload
Mm-hmm.
maybe that folder. And then in the question just put in the folder. And when you do upload it, just make sure everyone can view it, like the folder is accessible to everyone. Because we do, like Trina said, we're a full team, so the full team does read the applications, and so want to make sure it's like accessible and that we can read the application. But Trina, were you gonna offer something different?
no, I think that's a better strategy. I was gonna just say record them as and upload them to Google, and then every answer that you're putting, you just have instead of writing the whole answer, you would just put a link to that video. But also doing it all in a folder also helps to make it streamlined.
Yeah, maybe label the videos. Question 1, question 2.
Yeah.
So
Or if it's not a video, you can also do a voice. You said voice or audio, I mean, or video. So whichever, but we can take it.
Okay.
okay. And then right now we've been accepting up to 10 projects or ideas for each cohort. And Ariel, give me 1 second. I'm gonna give you, but I would say majority of the times, or let me see 1 second. Majority of them are in the afternoon, like 12 to latest like 7. And then we do have a session that starts as early as like 10 a.m. So for folks who get invited to the interview, you kind of have like the time blocks available to see what time frame works for you. And then are there any other questions?
I just have more like of a comment, not necessarily a question. But the first thing is like I'm just a little bit nervous. This definitely did help, just kind of like hearing everybody like express their concerns and like how everyone was welcoming. but my idea is centered around grief that I'm still going through. So it's like I'm very emotional sometimes, just like talking about it. So sometimes just like expressing myself and expressing my ideas, I'm just a little bit nervous about how the emotion is going to show up over the idea. And then also, I'm a sole proprietor business owner. So I'm just nervous about the 5 days. I don't know exactly how I'm going to be able to step away from my business for those 5 days straight. I know that I could like pop in and out, but I know that's not what we're there to do, right? We're there to be there for the 5 days and get the full experience. So I did just want to just put that out there that I'm trying to work on it. I'm working on it right now, but I just don't know. I'm just not sure. But yeah. So I just wanted to express that I'm still like excited and I'm pushing myself to like move forward, but there's still just a few kinks that I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna work out as far as like my business goes.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you for that radical honesty. Like Zakia said, they was letting out all the emotions throughout the program, so we hold space for it all. We're not just like, where are you at with the project? We're just like checking in on you, like how are you doing as a human, and how you're like moving through the cycle, and like supporting y'all through that. And then I would say just be transparent in the application. I think it's like anything you want to share with us about it, but we do ask for folks to like lock in on their Zoom for the 5 days because every day builds onto each other. And every session we like folks said like get deeper and deeper into it. And so we do expect for folks to be available like the 5 days that we are like in person because it's very supportive. Oh, it's 4 days? Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it's four. I think it's Tuesday to Friday.
It's Monday through Friday.
Okay, 5 days, the thing said four. And I think, Michelle, I appreciate your sharing about like you're living through the thing that you want to bring folks together. And I think that is, I think several folks in our cohorts, this last one, past ones, were holding something that was intimate to them. And that's what makes it more at times. It could add more, you feel the emotions of it. But it also allowed folks to be able to build community with other people who are going through it. It actually helped support their project, and also their project also helped them personally. So I would say that, and I think we could be in conversation about ideating solutions to that challenge that you have around you're running a business at that time and you need to figure out support or ways um, to cover your business. Maybe we could be in some radical thought partnership about what are some solutions to that challenge because it doesn't seem like it would be impossible. We would just need to think through it. So if you mention that in the application, like my concern is I have this going on and I can't leave it because I'm the sole proprietor, we could think about how we can solve that. Is there somebody else you could put in your place during that time? Is there somebody we can refer? Yeah. So very much supportive community.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just ask for, just communicate with us. We're gonna figure it out. We gonna move through it. And we'll definitely have some music, some joy through it, like Zakia said. Uh,
Thanks, therapy, Zakia said.
I don't know about that now. Let me
Can
see.
I can I just say something also?
Yeah.
I just want to like really, and I know we've tried to convey it, but this is such a safe space. Like it is such a safe space. And whatever it is, I don't know what it is that you're going through, but whatever it is, they will hold you. And I guarantee you, whoever's in your cohort is going to hold you too, because there is a culture that is so deep around supporting what Black parents know and feel and what they're experiencing as Black parents. And so I just want to like reiterate like it is truly a safe space. And you will be cared for in a very genuine and intentional way.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Um, Yeah, I'll save my response for a little bit. But Michelle, I see you got your hand up. How you doing, girl?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
How's everybody doing? Um, I really loved what you just said. I don't know how to pronounce your name. You
Oh, no,
just
it's
spoke,
way.
Bonisa. I loved what you said. So that does give me some comfort because I did have a concern also. The Monday through Friday, that 5 day period, what time would that be from? Because I'm gonna be going to school and homeschooling, but I know I can either get my classes at a different time or kind of move things around with my baby. So I just kind of need to know what would be our time period. Is it like a 8 to 5 kind of thing?
It's like I would say one thing. I think Michelle, you attended Safe, but Safe was a little different. But Ashley, who was like one of the youth educators in Safe,
Hmm.
we do childcare on site, depending on how many babies we have.
Oh, okay.
So childcare is included, or we will resource you, like reimburse you for like childcare, like while you're away.
Wow.
And I would
Okay.
say, yeah, like for the time that we're there, like breakfast and lunch and dinner is included. I think
Okay.
breakfast is like a little earlier than the start time, but typical days are like from 10 to like early late evening ish. Yeah.
Okay. Like 10 to 6.
Yeah, like 10 to 6, 10 to 6. Yeah.
Okay.
But genuine breaks, genuine breaks, genuine breaks. You get a nice little break.
Okay. Because that's my concern because I know school starts in
August.
the end of August. Yeah, the end of August, and I'll be going. So I have to figure that out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let us know. I can put it in.
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that it's possible.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Okay. Any other question? Thank you for the questions. To from school. Okay. Yes. Transportation for the babies. What are the program outcomes? That's a good question. Trini, you want to chat about that?
And do you, when you say program outcomes, like what is the expectation of you as a participant?
Yeah, I think. What would you like for us to walk away with?
Oh, yes. So our program outcomes are that, so it's a whole design cycle and there's a whole path and roadmap of the design cycle. So we ask you to come in with a few ideas that you're willing to workshop through. So in the process, you're going to learn the steps of innovation and iteration. So we want you to leave with knowing and being able to implement the design cycle. A part of the design cycle is knowing about Black innovation history. So we have a Black innovation timeline. So we want you to learn that, learn some people, and see how you and your idea situates in that Black liberation timeline and history of innovation. We want you to test your idea at least 3 times, so 3 different iterations. We want you to walk away being able to engage with up to at least 30 Black folks with your project. So you must do interviews and curious conversations and talk to other Black people, Black parents, Black caregivers about what you're testing. So there's 3 iterations that you will go through. You will engage with 30 people, and then the other outcome is that you will have a solidified project that you've innovated and tested, and that you will present it. So you will leave the program with a whole PDF slide of your project. You will leave with a video recorded, like 5-minute presentation TED talk about your project, and able to continue to engage it beyond the program. So that's what some of the takeaways are. Um, and also, of all of it, the part that people are talking about that is not necessarily on the paper is that you are personally transformed in service of the work. And so, what are the mindsets that you're going to shift in this time that you're in the program? What is the big learning challenge that you have? What are some limited, maybe some limited mindsets or thinking that you might have that you need to put down and dismantle so that you can move towards liberation? So, at the core of it is like, how are you shifting as a human? How are you shifting as a parent? How is this work also informing the way that you are with your children? And then the other takeaways are the more tangible things that we talked about, what that I just shared. Hopefully that was clear.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
And you
you.
get a nice little headshot too. I put in the chat our website so you can learn more about our alumni. We have our alumni profiles up on the website. And you can watch some recap videos if you're interested in seeing how we do our TED Talks, but our Black Parent TED Talks. And then a link to the application form. And like Zakia said, like the on-site outdoor nature school is like really supportive. And Ashley also kind of depending on the age, like cultivate the curriculum for the kids to also like be in the design cycle loop. And so they also like know what you're doing, and having their own experiments, and conversations around like Black innovation, or just like thinking about things. So you're not doing it in silos, you're not building alone. And so yeah, if y'all have like anything, we just communicate with us and we can like try to pivot or like provide a solution that kind of works for all of us, and that you can like still show up fully in the cohort, because that's kind of what makes the cohort, everyone like being involved and being present and providing feedback and like support, as we all kind of go through the cycle together. Oh, okay, we're a little over. Do we have any other questions? Oh, no questions. We answered them all. Okay. If you don't have any questions right now, we'll upload the Zoom recording online so you can find it on the website, and then in our link tree. And if you have any questions in the meantime, just don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we can see how we can support y'all. Well, 1, 2, 3, release them. Have a good Wednesday. I'll see y'all later. Thank you so much to our alumni for being present and sharing your experience. Yeah, we love y'all and have a good day. Yes, you're welcome. Yes.
I love these bursting hearts and stuff. I'm just gonna do all that. Thank y'all.
Oh, hey, Danette, Zakia, Danny, were your application? I'm just playing. Oh,
If
let me
you
stop recording.
if you joined late, the recording will be available too.